Hey y'all, it's Natalie, and I'm here today with the back to school YouTube hop that my friend Sarah Scraps puts on. The theme today is the cool kid just showed up, and I am using that mostly just because my pictures are really cool and of my kids, because I coordinated their outfits to my scrapbook products. I mean, yeah, I did that. I know, right? Probably not going to get away with that much longer. But anyway, one is headed to 4th grade and one is in 1st. That amazing acrylic piece you see there in the middle is the star of the show here. And it is from Not Just for Boys Kit Club. I will link down below to that. But I just had to have it. It's all different colors and it matched the shirts that they wore on the first day of school. So I definitely knew that I wanted to use that as my title. So I have their group picture together. I have other pictures that I will scrap this month on my channel. So stay tuned for the other coordinating pages I will make to go with this one. But these pictures I got of the two of them are so cute and I was excited to be able to use them all. So I'm going to use this letter stencil that I have in my stash, and I'm going to use a few Catherine Puller inks that you see over there on the right in the soft greens, which are the colors that their shirts are. And I'm going to use it to just kind of create little anchors for the two sets of photos. And I'm going to do like a diagonal design. So I'm going in, the color was supposed to be mint, but I think I had some yellow on my brush, so it kind of came out a little lime, and that's okay. Because all the colors are going to blend together really well. And I'm going to go in with that other skylight color, which is like a darker seafoamy color, maybe is the proper term. I'm not really sure exactly, but I'm going to blend that into the lighter mint color. The stencil's kind of small, so I'm going to have to scoot it over and kind of like overlap some numbers, but it ends up being fine. I just basically want a base there, and it doesn't matter if the numbers overlap or something like that. So I'm just using my Catherine Puller brushes here to rub the ink on, and then I'm going to go in without the stencil and kind of smooth out the edges and add like a shadow effect around each of the diagonal spaces in the corners. This is a hop that my friend Sarah puts on every year in September to celebrate back to school, and you don't have to have like kids going back to school to participate. You can use the theme to kind of like participate any way you would like, but there's a whole list of participants down below that are super inspirational, and I hope you will hop along and see what everybody has created. So you can see here I'm adding additional numbers out to make my space a little bit bigger, and then I'm softening it up around the edges just with some plain color, and I'm really loving the way that that's looking. One of them had on like a mint green shirt, and then the other one had on like a tie-dye kind of sage green shirt. I'm using the same inks to create a little splatter. Now I did not put gesso on this page, and this was just a stash page from my stash, but I mean, how perfect is that, right? It's like notebook paper. But I'm not adding a ton of water. I'm just adding a little bit of water with these tiny splatters. So it didn't need gesso, but they do soak into the back, so they're not super vibrant, which is fine. But because that acrylic piece has some black in it, I want to definitely add pops of black throughout the page to help tie that in. So I'm going to start by using a black ink to add some black splatters onto the mixed media background. And that will be one way to tie in the background to the black title. And you can see it did soak into the paper, and so it's not super vibrant. So I have those two small photos at the bottom and then the main photo at the top, which is like what I consider the best photo. I'm just going to start tucking little bits of layering parts behind the photos. So I have a Heidi Swap tag there. A lot of the Sun Chaser collection works really good with these photos and these colors. So that pink ledger paper is from her Sun Chaser collection. I think that was her most recent collection that came out for the summer. I'm going to rough up the edges, and then I'm going to use those green inks to ink up the edges to kind of help blend in the layered papers with the background. Just kind of like all repeating elements to bring cohesion to the page. I'm going to use these papers and ephemera bits to layer behind the photos, and then I'm going to pop them up on some foam dots to get a lot of dimension on the page. So I have that like tie-dye tag, and in her Sun Chaser collection, it has some foil that is like, what's the right word? Copper copper foil. Heidi's a big fan of copper foil. She's had quite a few collections that had that in it. So I grabbed that, and then the other bit is some packaging from Not Just for Boys Kit Club, which is just like a black grid. So I thought that'd be perfect because it kind of looks like grid paper, like for back to school. And then I bought this punch specifically for this hop because I knew I would be wanting like school theme. So it's like when you pull notebook paper out of a notebook, is what that edge looks like. So I just grabbed some black and white paper that says hello from my stash, and I'm going to cut a strip of that out. And then I also used the pink top of the ledger paper that I used up at the top left corner. So I just have a few of those pieces all stuck together. So I'm just kind of building it under and making sure that all the pages, all the patterned papers and ephemera stick out behind the photos the way that I want them to. Added a pop of black by adding black thread through the hole in the tag. I don't leave my tags threadless if I can help it around here. And I'm just kind of layering those up and playing around with the way that the papers are. And so I'm just moving them a little bit. So that's nice that the ATG gun, the tape is repositionable at first. So you can move things around like this. Now it's kind of like one big piece that I can move around the page. So I didn't want to lay my photos down onto the mixed media background just in case some of the ink transferred. So I'm laying it there on top of my cutter, and then I'm going to add all those foam dots. And I haven't taken the backing off yet. I'm just using that to kind of see what it looks like atop the mixed media background. I'm really happy with it. And I'm adding bits of ephemera. So there was some like negative space in that photo. I'm going to add that little ticket tag. And then that yay tag is some more of that metallic copper. So I'm going to make sure to add a couple of pops of that around the page so that it looks cohesive. This is the Heidi Swap Stamp Society stamp from August. I didn't want it, but that's another video for another day. I will be doing a review of the Stamp Society at the end of the year, so stay tuned for that. I have many thoughts about it, but it is it has some school supplies on it, so I decided to use some of them to stamp in the colors of my page and do some fussy cutting to create my own embellishments. So that's what I'm doing here. There's all kinds of like binder clips, bulldog clips, there's paper clips, pins, like push pins, that's the word, pencils. So I'm just going to stamp them in a few different colors and then fussy cut them out. And I won't make you watch all of that. I'm just going to create a little collection of them over here. You'll see in a moment. But yeah, those will be nice little pops around the page to add to the school look. So there you can see I cut them all out. They're over there on the right on top of my stamping block. So now I'm going to start assembling the page. And I had put away that acrylic piece because I didn't want to lose anything, especially the little dot for the eye. Excuse me. And I love the little light bulb as the eye in the bright. It's so cute. And the bright, I don't know if you can tell so great, but it's different colors. So like the B and the R, one is green and one is like a blue color, because the kit that it coordinates with, called the Brilliance Limitless Kit, has those colors in it. You should check it out. I'll link down below. I'll also put a cherry on top of the link if you would like to go shop over there, because probably a lot of the other, like the Suncatcher stuff, definitely came from there. You can see over there on the right on my glass mat, I tried to create some Nuvo dots to do that thing where like you create them on your glass mat and then you pick them up and use them as enamel dots. I'm not good at that. I suck at that. I'm gonna remedy that later on, but that's what we got going on over there, if you were wondering. So I'm just getting ready, like looking to how I want my title, and I am going to use glossy accents here to make sure that this acrylic piece, which is, you know, fairly heavy, is gonna stay. Also, this cardstock that I'm using is very thick, so it's going to be able to hold that acrylic piece really nicely. It's not going to try to buckle or anything underneath. So I found another, like that star up there is more of that metallic color, so I'm going to use that to add in a pop of the metallic up there on the left, since I have some down on the right. What am I doing here? So I'm actually going to cut that piece in half and use it in two different places. So I'm going to stick one behind the ticket, and I'm going to use my tiny attacher to put that up there. And then I'll stick one down at the bottom of the photo as well. So just to have that little metallic color, I think, in 3 or 4 different places to bring cohesion to the place, because it all started because there's a little strip of it on that tie-dye tag at the bottom that is one of my layering pieces. So yep, there we have it. I just tuck it right under there, and you never know that I tore it apart or cut it in half. So now I'm just sprinkling my Fussy Cut stamps around the page, and they're just like little bitty, so they're a good size for this type of sprinkling. And then after I get them kind of placed where I want them, I will go back and use my Nuvo adhesive to add them all, stick them all down really nicely. Yeah, it worked out really nicely, especially the little paper clips. They're super cute. I'm not one normally for fussy cutting. It's definitely not my favorite thing to do, but it worked really well with the theme, so I figured why not. And I'm gonna do some pocket pages, so I'll probably use the same stamp set to make some cards in my pocket page, so that will be nice to bring cohesion between the traditional layout and the pocket pages. So what do we have going on here next? So I'm sticking down those Fussy Cut bits, and next I'm going to try to start using those enamel dots I made with Nuvo drops over there on the right. They were terrible, to be honest with you, and they were much smaller than I anticipated, so I just end up getting the Nuvo drops back out and creating the bigger, more vibrant black blobs on my page. Right there, you can see me doing it. And I know that's risky because you could just create a giant mess on your page, but it actually turned out really well, and I like that I have those really big kind of matte, bright pops of black to go with the shine on my title. So just be careful if you do it, and don't get your hand stuck in it. Like, I should have worked from top to bottom, and not got my hand hovering over it. It was precarious. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'd love it if you'd like and subscribe. Check out the hop list down below. There's going to be so much inspiration today. I'm super excited to hop through and see what everybody made. And let me know if you have any questions. I'll pop these pictures over on my Instagram as well, so I'll link down below to that, and with my affiliate links if you would like to go shopping. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye y'all.